Hey guys, it's me, Vanessa at you again, better known as GreatLove91 on Twitter. Follow me and I'll follow you back. Just let me know that you watched this video and I will give you a follow. I just did my Total Divas recap and now it's time for me to do my Night of Champions recap. Overall, it was a pretty decent pay-per-view. Not one of the best, but essentially I only paid for it for like 1-2 matches, so I guess my expectations weren't that high anyway. The kickoff show was with the tag team turmoil match, and the winner of that match would go on to later face the Shield. Primetime players won that match. Not really surprised with the push that they had been getting with Darren Young recently coming out of the closet. So I wasn't really surprised. But the real pay-per-view kicked off with Triple H coming down to the ring and talking about how he put his stamp of approval on this match and that he's proud of it and hopefully we will be too. And then Paul Heyman comes out and tries to talk Triple H out of canceling the elimination tag team match scheduled for later that night with him, Curtis Axel, and CM Punk. Triple H of course says no. Then Heyman's like, I know what this is about. You have a vendetta against Curtis Axel because he beat you twice. This makes Triple H mad, so then he sets up Curtis Axel versus Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental title. A very random Herpather decision, but that was the first title match. I thought it was a bad way to kick off the show because it was like 25 minutes of talking and then a match. The Curtis Axel and Kofi Kingston match was a little too lengthy for my liking. It was kind of boring, and that's sad because Kofi's an entertainer and Curtis Axel was just boring in the ring. So I wanted him to lose, but he retained. So that happened. Then the second match was the match that I technically paid to see, which was the Fatal 4-Way match. AJ Lee, your WWE Divas Champion, versus Brie Bella versus Natalya versus Naomi. And as some of you may know, me and my best friend Ronnie had a bet. If anybody from the Total Divas side won, he would get a boba from me. And if AJ won, I would get a chocolate milkshake. Going into this, I legitimately thought that AJ was going to drop her title because I thought that they would want it for the show Total Divas. But to my surprise, AJ retains by giving a Black Widow to Natalya, and Natalya is tapping out. So I get my milkshake, guys. Yay. I'm happy about that. I'm happy that AJ retained, but I'm not happy with the match. Neither was my best friend. It was sloppy. There was a lot of botches from Natalya. There was a couple botches from AJ. Natalya botched the crossbody given by Naomi, and it looked like Naomi hurt herself. When AJ went in for a kick on Natalya, she kicked her leg instead of like her sternum where she was supposed to. And the botcher of the night goes to Natalya because there was a segment where, or a spot where she was supposed to do a double sharpshooter on Naomi and Brie. Naomi and Brie were laying in the middle of the ring on top of each other. Both of their shoulders were down, so the referee should have counted. Brie should have been the winner since she was on top of Naomi, but apparently that's not how it was supposed to finish. And then Natalya looks like a deer in the headlights, like, what do I do? She looks around, like, like this, and then eventually goes into the double sharpshooter very slowly, I might add, and that's when AJ sneaks up from behind and does the Black Widow and gets the win. So that's how that match went down. And then the next match was Alberto Del Rio versus RVD for the World Heavyweight title. Del Rio got disqualified because he didn't break at the count of 5 when he was in the ropes. And then the match, and so RVD wins, but he didn't win the title. Alberto Del Rio is still your champion, but then RVD gets the best of Alberto Del Rio and does the coast-to-coast Van Daminator across the ring and lays Del Rio out. I thought it would have been a perfect opportunity for Sandow to cash in Money in the Bank, but I guess they didn't want a heel competitor cashing in on a heel competitor. Then the next match was, I believe it was Fandango versus The Miz. Even though that they have a feud, I thought this match was very pointless because it wasn't for any championship gold. However, Miz wins with a figure 4 leg lock, which I didn't like because I rather would have had Fandango go over. And as you guys may know, I don't think the Miz can wrestle, so I thought that was a waste. And then it was the elimination tag team match, CM Punk versus Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman. Of course, CM Punk pins Curtis Axel, so then Now Heyman has to get in the ring with him. Heyman tried running away, but Punk caught him, beat him like repeatedly with the kendo stick, and then he handcuffs him, and he keeps beating him up, and he's like, "Remember, I'm the one who did this to you," and he keeps beating him up, and then he's like put up against the ropes, and he's about to hit Heyman in the face, and he's like, "I'm about to break your face," and then out of nowhere, Ryback comes and pretty much spears CM Punk into the table. It leaves CM Punk's back all bloody and cut up, and then a motionless CM Punk is on the floor, and Paul Heyman's knocked out, but then Ryback grabs Paul Heyman's carcass and puts, Paul Heyman over CM Punk 1, 2, 3. Paul Heyman beats CM Punk, and apparently Ryback is your new Paul Heyman guy. What do you guys think about that? I don't really like it too much. To me, it seems like they had nothing better to do with Ryback, so that's what they had to do. Maybe give him some credibility again. I don't know. I didn't like it much. And then the next match was the Shield versus the Primetime Players. It was a pretty quick match. Shield retains their titles. And then it's Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. One of the better matches in the night, considering that those two can actually wrestle and they're good competitors. But of course, Dean Ambrose retains his title. Not too surprised, because I don't think they would give Dolph Ziggler the U.S. title, because he's way better than that title, and also because he's been getting some backstage heat, so I knew he would probably lose. So Dean Ambrose retains the title. Nothing really too special about that match, other than Dolph's butt was shown again, but that always happens. And then your main event, Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. The second reason why I paid for this pay-per-view, because I am a Daniel Bryan person. And great match, of course. When Daniel Bryan's in the ring, when is it not a great match? The finish was, in the match, Scott Armstrong got knocked out, and then a new referee came in, but then out of nowhere, Scott Armstrong is back up and is like, "Oh, I can finish the match," or whatever. Then the new referee that had replaced him leaves, and then, like, the way the match finishes is Daniel Bryan does the high knee to Randy Orton, the same high knee that beat Cena at SummerSlam, mind you. But the thing is, the count was super fast. It was like 1, 2, 3, like literally like that. And I remember when it happened, I was like, "Oh my God, Daniel Bryan's the champion!" But then me and my best friend, we looked at each other and were like, "Let's not celebrate yet, because Triple H is probably going to come out and reverse his decision and say something about the count being too fast." But it didn't happen. Like, it ended with Daniel Bryan, yes, 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 with the crowd and with the little boy, which I thought was really cute. So then the pay-per-view cuts, and then me and my friends celebrate, because we're like, "Holy crap, he's the champion. We could celebrate." But, like I said, the count was super fast. It was literally like 1, 2, 3, or probably even faster than that. So I think that tonight they might strip Daniel Bryan of the title and reverse the decision, or maybe have a rematch, or maybe Scott Armstrong will get fired, or maybe somehow Dusty Rhodes has some involvement in this since Stephanie invited him to Raw. I don't know. The commentators didn't even acknowledge the fast count. I read somewhere that the reason why is because they didn't want to acknowledge it in hopes that people would tune in to see what happens next. So I don't know what's next for the Corporation 2.0 deal, or what's next for Daniel Bryan. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Bryan is the new WWE champion. He's the face of the company, but I know that it probably won't last long to have this feud continue, and every other champion retain their title. Overall, I give this pay-per-view a 2 out of 5 stars. It wasn't the greatest pay-per-view, but like I said, I only ordered it for 2 reasons anyway. And the 2 reasons why I ordered it went my way. Daniel Bryan, won the title, even though he might get stripped, and then AJ retained her title. So yeah, and I'm also very excited to see Raw tonight, to see what's next for AJ, who's she going to feud with. There's speculation that Paige is going to debut, and then there's speculation that she might have a feud with Mickie James, since Mickie James' contract is up in TNA and didn't sign a new deal. So I don't know, but we'll see, and I'm excited. And be sure to be following DTRT Wrestling on Twitter, because tonight I will be doing live tweeting during Raw, which is in 2 hours. And then also tonight I will be doing an after show for Raw, so on blogtalkradio.com. So be sure to look out for that. And like I said, be sure to follow DTRT Wrestling for all those updates and all your latest wrestling news and articles done by me, Trevor, and John. Alright guys, have a wonderful day. I will see you soon. Later.